Thank you, Lawrence. Well, the race for California governor is center stage again tonight on the heels of last night's CNN debate. Well, there's another one this evening.
With ballots already arriving at people's homes this week, what do the candidates need to do to break out of the pack? Well, KRON 4's Dan Kerman has been asking that question, speaking with experts. He joins us live from the newsroom. Dan, what are they telling you?
Well, they are saying that, in fact, time is running out for many of these candidates that want to make their mark and try and overtake others and sit in that number one and number two position. Now, with many ready to cast their ballots, political analysts say some of the candidates will need to step up their game. The top 7 candidates for governor faced off Tuesday night in East L.A., and political analysts say some had a better night than others.
I thought Hilton had a pretty good night. You know, he parried some of the attacks, saying, I'm not going to respond to silly name calling. And he repeated his catchphrase about California, I think, only once. I thought Becerra did pretty well in terms of, given how many times he was attacked, that he was mostly parrying those attacks pretty well. There were a couple times where I think, you know, folks smelled some fear, smelled some weakness, especially when he was talking about single-payer health care. I think Chad Bianco did himself some damage last night, first on his answer about the Oath Keepers, and then later when he at first denied using a specific word, and then when pressed by the moderator said, oh yeah, I did say that. I think Katie Porter probably needs to do something different. I think she did have a plan last night that she was going to be the adult in the room, that she was going to say, boys, you know, stop bickering. But she was part of the bickering as well.
The most recent polls have shown 2 of these 4 will likely be moving to the runoff in November. That's why political analysts say some of these candidates might have to pivot a bit.
Javier Becerra needs to debate better. What that means is he doesn't have to speak as fast when he's starting, and he starts to talk really fast when he is first coming out of the gate. He needs to pause and beat back some of these attacks. The Steyer's race is to get into second place, which means you got to get to 15. And to get to 15, to do that, you have to expand your electorate just a bit, and that means more than His Honor Willie Brown, which is a good get for him, and more than environmentalists and progressive base. It means you got to cut in and turn people away from someone who's threatening you, and that includes someone like Steve Hilton. So does Steyer act in a more aggressive fashion?
Now, the most recent polls show about 14% of likely voters are still undecided. That number is expected to drop in the days ahead as people choose a candidate. What remains to be seen is whether politicians like current Governor Gavin Newsom or former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi decide to tip the scale and endorse someone. Live in the newsroom, Dan Kerman, KRON 4 News.
All right, Dan.